This one thing might be keeping you poor. So what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Robert. If this is your first time tuning in today's video, we're going to talk about the one thing that might be keeping you poor. So stay tuned. Just recently, actually yesterday, I was reading an article by Entrepreneur, and I screenshotted the article, and I'll go ahead and put it in right now. So in the article, basically it was just giving tips and habits of millionaires. And in the article it said 86% of prestigious brand of vehicles are driven by non-millionaires. Basically high income earners, doctors, lawyers, attorneys, all of that stuff. Anyone who earns a high income. Now really quickly, there's a good book out there. It's called The Millionaire Next Door. I'll link it down below in the description. It's a great book and it's a great read, and it references a lot of what we're going to be talking about today in this video. Now let's quickly talk a little bit about that statistic. 86% of prestigious brands of vehicles is driven by non-millionaires, people who are not millionaires, just high income earners. So what does that mean? If I'm looking at it from the outside, I'm analyzing it as, okay, people are trying to look rich, or they're trying to look like somebody who is a millionaire, or look like they have more money than what they do, or they think that this is what millionaires drive, etc. Right? They're just trying to fit in with a next tier status that they currently really aren't there yet. Again, this isn't meant to dog anyone who is in those careers or anyone who is earning or not a millionaire. That's not the intention of this video at all. It's just to help those who want to become a millionaire, you know, maybe not realize what they're doing that they could correct. I know for myself personally, I grew up in a small rural town. I'm sure you can tell I'm not the typical city person talking about finances on YouTube. I look a little bit different, right? It's because I grew up in a rural town. So yeah, we really didn't have the financial education that we may should have had available to us. Now, really quickly, I will admit I have made that mistake as well. I have bought, again, I wasn't educated on finances. I didn't really understand finances till I started getting a little older. But I, again, screwed up at some points in my life where I bought expensive vehicles. One, because, yeah, I did like them. Two, I thought I deserved it, right? I thought I deserved driving a nice, brand new, fancy car. Which is cool. It was a good experience, but it didn't help me with my end goal. So, again, just for reference, I was paying over $1,000 a month on a specific vehicle. That is now gone. So if you're wondering what type of vehicles are millionaires actually driving, so you might be asking, well, if they're not driving prestigious car brands, millionaires that is, what are they driving? It's actually just a common car like most of us would get. A Ford, Toyota, Chevy, things like that. Just regular vehicles. That's usually what millionaires are getting. And in Entrepreneur and in the Millionaire Next Door, they talk about how millionaires understand that as soon as you get a brand new vehicle, it drops dramatically in value once you drive off that lot. So millionaires didn't get to that status of millionaire by being stupid with money. They understand that as soon as I drive off that lot, I'm losing quite a bit, 30%, 40% of value on that vehicle. So they have to question themselves, is that really worth my time and my money to put towards a vehicle? Do I really want it that bad where I'm willing to give up that much money pretty much instantly? Most people are going to say no. Most millionaires are going to say no. That's how they got to the point they are. They could weigh out what their wants and their needs versus, is it realistic? Does it make sense? Now again, I made a lot of these mistakes myself early on in my life. I didn't have anyone who could teach me these things. I wasn't really interested, I guess, in learning or watching YouTube videos. I didn't even know that YouTube videos on finance were even available. I was just, you know, naive about it, I guess. So of course I made those mistakes, which probably slowed me down to where I could be. But the good thing is I learned about it still fairly young. And if you guys are watching this and you're fairly young, hopefully you can take this information and run with it. Now, a lot of you may be asking, you know, should I never drive a fancy or exotic car? You know, what if I become a billionaire or millionaire and I'm worth, you know, 50, 100, or $1 billion? Well, at that point, it doesn't really matter. You know, you're not on the same level as someone who is not a millionaire. You're in a different bracket. So you can afford to splurge a little bit to enjoy life. But until you get to that point in your life where you are able to just throw away money at something like that, I personally wouldn't go out and get these, $150,000, $120,000 vehicles anymore. Now I'm reanalyzing myself and my vehicles and what I do as far as transportation, because it just doesn't make sense anymore, especially now with interest rates, guys. Kind of going off on a tangent, but things have just gotten so much more expensive. MSRPs on vehicles are just ridiculous. But yeah, that's a topic for another day. But anyways, point is, I don't believe in being so frugal that you never enjoy your money. But until you get to your goal or to where you want to be in life, you kind of have to be a little more frugal, because if not, you're playing a tug of war with your checkbook there. You're playing tug of war. You're buying an expensive vehicle that's costing you $1,000 a month here, $800 a month here, but yet you're still trying to invest money over here. You're going against each other. And until you get to that goal or that millionaire status, or wherever your status or wherever your bracket that you want to reach or hit is at, I wouldn't go around spending my money on, a very expensive vehicle. You're working against yourself. And basically that's what I've come to realize now that I'm getting a little older, kind of just stepping back and looking around me and looking at what I'm doing wrong. Now I know it's hard. I know I have a lot of Europeans who also watch the channel, but for us in America, it's very hard for us to put aside our ego and to drive a little beat up vehicle or a vehicle that is maybe not brand new. It is very hard. Or even if the car is brand new, you can still get value out of a new vehicle, just not, your high-end luxury brand of vehicle. You can still buy a brand new vehicle as long as it makes sense, right? But yeah, I know it's hard for us to put aside our ego because we don't know what our friends are going to say. We don't know what our family's going to say. We don't know what people on the street are going to say. At the end of the day, guys, it doesn't matter what anyone says or thinks about you. Worry about your own goals. Worry about your own finances. So I grew up in the country, and when you're transporting horses, you put on these little shields. I call them tunnel vision shields, and I reference them a lot, and for my own life. And the reason I do that is because they look like, if you have them on, you would have just tunnel vision. So that's basically what I try to do with my life, and to keep in mind, just keep tunnel vision on myself, my goals, and what I'm doing. Try not to look outside. Try not to worry about what other people are doing. Because it's so easy to compare yourself to others. It's so easy to see, oh man, so-and-so has a brand new, for us, it's trucks. So-and-so has a brand new $2,500, $3,500 vehicle. Which again, those are $90,000, $100,000 vehicles. It's so easy to compare yourself to that. But you have to stay focused on your game and your lane. Because if not, if you start veering off and looking sideways, now you start getting yourself into trouble. Again, I know people making under $100,000, but driving a $100,000 vehicle. Again, and not even just one. They have usually 2 or 3 vehicles. But again, that alone, keeping many vehicles keeps you poor. There's so much maintenance, there's so much cost associated with owning a vehicle that you really don't realize until you write it down, or you really, really hone in and pay attention to what the cost is of owning that vehicle. Real quickly, you have your mortgage payment. I'm always thinking about real estate. You have your vehicle payment. You have interest on that vehicle. You have insurance on the vehicle. You have maintenance, oil changes. You have anything that comes up that breaks down if it's not a new vehicle and if it's not covered by warranty. You have tires. You have just so many things that come into play when you're dealing with a vehicle that will eventually keep you poor if you are not ready or not in a financial position to own that specific vehicle. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed that short video on what 86% of non-millionaires are doing. So hopefully you can do the opposite and hopefully better your life. Without further ado, appreciate you guys watching. Until next time, be careful, be good, take care, and God bless. See you guys later. Bye-bye.